Welcome back to Comics, the podcast where we look at two comics each week. And Superman in Action Comics number 765 is what we're starting with today. This is a comic that I bought from one of our local comic shops, Pop's Comics in Louisville. And it was in a dollar bin sale. So I got a big stack of between 20 and 30 comics for $1 each. And I got it because we don't have any comics with Harley Quinn in them. In our whole collection,
Strange.
until now, we've got one. So, traditionally a Batman villain. The reason I think we don't have any comics with her is because she wasn't invented until the Batman animated series in the 90s. So she was a cartoon character before she was a comic character. And now I believe she's one of DC's highest selling.
Oh, heck yeah, she's so popular.
Characters. And she's been in a couple of movies and everything. So I think she was created by Bruce Timm, or maybe it was a couple of people collaborating, but he was like the art designer he's like the lead artist, I believe, on the Batman animated series. So this is a Superman appearance of the Joker and Harley Quinn. And yeah, I just got it based on the cover. It looks like Lex Luthor and Superman are both being subdued by the Joker back there.
He looks like a Cesar Romero Joker from the old 60s TV show, 70s TV show.
I like this version of him. Inside the comic, the interior art, he kind of looks a little funky, but we'll see that in a second. I like this huge ball and chain.
Yes,
like, how can she even look that?
Crazy.
I noticed this too, the 2000. I wonder, this is after the death and the rebirth of Superman. So this is the 765th issue.
Ooh.
Historically, I think they started to do this alternate numbering of like, maybe this is the 21st issue since they rebooted it.
Okay.
Or something,
that's
give
handy,
people
yeah.
like a jumping on point of like, I gotta read 764 of these things to get up to speed. Oh, just 20 of them? Okay.
This is an excellent cover, though. Really dynamic.
Yeah, the colors look really good. This is from May 2000. And I really like this opening scene. So we're in Metropolis, which they call inarguably the city of tomorrow. The city of tomorrow.
Oh, he looks like Fred from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, he's got his ascot.
Yeah, it's odd. That would be a weird visit.
Yeah, he's doing a little cameo. He has a fruit stand in Metropolis when he's not solving mysteries. I don't know how you get to it. It's on this like scaffold, and then the stairs have a rail that close it in, that go by it, because you have to go up behind him through the glass doors, or he throws it down to you.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I don't know.
Wow.
So these two Metropolis, what do you call it?
Metropolites?
Metropolites, sure. Are
they
talking.
Look like Karens.
They're walking their poodles until they walk into this cybernetic-looking poodle.
Whoa!
So she's saying, and the railway train. Oh, put my eyes out with a hairbrush. If the subways in Brooklyn should be that clean, though for 3 street levels and all the new do, I still can't find a decent cannoli. I don't know what the new do.
Yeah.
She talked about getting a haircut, like a new hairdo.
Oh, yeah.
And it says, for this you would move Poopsie Aunt Bunny as a moron. You should fall on your knees to thank God you own a slice of the greatest city on earth. No time. I'm too busy asking him to arrange a date with Lex Luthor.
Ew.
Luthor? Ha! Hon, call the doctor. He pulled too tight on that last lift. Why not? We rubbed the same elbows. I met him once at a benefit thing. A real presence. So single.
Ew.
Bunny, the man is in mourning. He lost his child to save the city. He's vulnerable and empty, and when you want to marry up at 40, it's a dog-eat-dog world, Gladys. You never learn that. That's why Mel ran off with the money girl from OTB. Zaza? I guess her poodle's name's Zaza. So we see this straining lead as the dogs confront each other. And yeah, I guess in this era of the continuity, Lex Luthor, you know,
Is
I
he
think
a
he
good
at
guy?
some point he becomes president after this, but yeah, I think he does some PR rehab or something. Or
You were not wrong. Joker is
yeah,
crazy.
those like his eye, the recesses of
Mm.
his eyes are in complete shadow. Like he's got heavy makeup on, or it's just super sunken.
Yeah, and that
He looks all cracked out.
wig cap
Yeah,
and
he's got his bald cap. I'm not sure about
and that
that.
sucker. Oh my god.
So this
This
is
guy.
I do like the dogs. I like the way the dogs are
Wow.
portrayed. He's got blood on his in a leash. Did he just eat that poodle between
That's
panels? Is that what we're supposed to?
well. They're getting some chuckles out of it.
Yeah, they're hyenas, I guess.
These weird leather zippered hood hat things on the dogs.
Oh, and of course, Joker is singing, "You got your poodle in my hyena. I got my hyena all over your poodle. It's two Great Danes that Dane great together. Joker's poodle carcass cup." That's the peanut butter and chocolate. What is that ad from?
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh, okay.
Oh gosh, when I was a kid, that was always on.
So we got some dog. I guess it is a dog eat dog world, like she was saying. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of punning and also animal cruelty, I guess, in this.
Yeah.
I like how this hyena has a leather mask on.
This guy too.
Oh yeah, I didn't see
this
him.
guy too.
Some of them have leather masks.
Some of them look like they have like masks like Harley
with,
has and stuff too.
Yeah, what do they
You
call
know,
that?
the
It's like
funny,
the Green Hornet mask.
the weirdest Reese's peanut butter cup commercial that was like that was, I think it was somebody walking down the street and they fell down a manhole or something, and it was somebody working, and so they were like, "Ooh, you got peanut butter on my chocolate. You got chocolate." It's like, you're in a manhole.
That's
Gomer.
not
That's
chocolate.
not chocolate.
That's not a Baby Ruth. So, you know, you're probably thinking from the cover, what could the Joker even do to Superman? Somebody that
True.
perceives and can move at super speed and round the Earth's curvature in a moment.
Heat vision.
Yeah, all of that. I know this is a different. So I think in the pre-crisis Superman, he could like travel back in time and move the Earth by like grabbing it. And I think they toned him down a little bit after that in the 80s, but he's still obviously hugely powerful. And you're thinking maybe he's got a kryptonite bow tie or something. I don't know, but
Well, this is the most unhinged Joker we've dealt with.
It's got a green shirt on. It could be a kryptonite shirt.
It could be. You know what I mean? I mean, the whole eating their poodle.
I know. His sucker is not even falling out of his mouth while he sings.
I mean, the one thing is Superman has a moral compass.
Mm-hmm.
Joker is absolute. I mean, I don't think
absolute chaos.
Yeah, I don't think that any normal person could think of the worst that he could do. You know what I mean? So
he's unpredictable. So it's hard to anticipate. Unless you have super speed and perception, you can just follow him constantly and interrupt him. Hey, are you doing something insane and erratic? Stop it.
True. You could, listen in on everything. Or if you're
Batman, just finally kill him. So you're like, I don't kill, but he has killed 100,000 people in my city. We're going to kill him. I don't usually do this.
Early Batman would have no problem.
Just have everybody vote on it or something. All the Gothamites. You probably know someone who's been killed or Joker-fied or
that's
maimed
true.
Or something.
That's true.
And they'd probably vote to let him live for some reason. knowing how popularity contests go.
Yes. But yeah, he's like, this version of him is like horror movie chilling.
Yeah.
He's off the...
Yeah, this is a pretty edgy comic. Well, the other thing that stood out to me is, isn't Harley Quinn kind of has a hat built into her cowl or whatever?
Yeah.
She's wearing a driver's cap over her jester's cap. I used to have one of those three, like a winter hat version. Remember I used to wear that had those three jester kind of points on it. I used to love that thing. Or you could turn it sideways and be like a rooster.
Yeah.
So he's threatening these ladies. You two look like models, you know that? Model Ts, to be exact. After the head-on collision. Exactly the look I'm looking at. Harley? People, gasp in terror this way, okay? Eyes on the sassy sidekick in spandex and say, I went to Metropolis and all I got it for it was to kill a few million people.
Holy.
Oh, and I should have pointed out this, I think this is like a pull quote from the, what is the Daily Planet, it says right there. I could really use a laugh these days, Clark Kent says in March of 2000.
Wow.
So he's getting what he wished for, and also he's really down on his luck in this issue. Superman's all down and out. I don't have any of the nearby issues before this, and I didn't bother Googling it or anything. But from the context clues, this is either like a different reality, or he's in a temporary, like, something's going on.
The trailer for the new Superman movie that's coming out looks like he's down.
That's true. Somebody in a crowd throws like a bottle at him, and he's all beaten up in the snow. So I think that'll be a good Superman movie to watch.
Oh,
I remember a lot of the marketing for previous Superman. It's all him like enduring shots from bullets and not being hard. You know, it's emphasizing his impossible powers, but this one's really showing him to have weaknesses or to be an
he has all those
something.
powers and all those abilities, but the one thing he does have in common with the rest of us is he has that inner monologue, so we don't know what's going on inside. So
I think that flashbulb from the camera singed all their hair off.
That's crazy.
He says if you retinas start to crack, and I don't know if that's supposed to be your retina, don't be shy. Licking eyeballs is my specialty.
Oh my!
And they start going blah 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 blah.
So this,
blah blah.
we can assume that this used to be an afro wig that he was wearing.
I guess, yeah. Well, his hair looks pushed down under it.
That's so gross.
Wave to the nice readers, girls. They're paying the rent. So I don't know if he's breaking the fourth wall or getting kind of a Deadpool kind
eyeballs.
of. This is a sad little sequence. I do like how we're in total darkness and you see his laser vision heat up and he's using it to shave. He's bouncing it off of a handheld mirror while he looks, I guess, into the larger mirror. And I think that's a convention that's been covered before. Didn't one of the old 70s or 80s Superman movies show him shaving that way? Or maybe I'm misremembering. I've seen it before. I know I've seen it. So he's doing his shaving routine. Lois comes in, she's all mad looking. Do you have any idea how disgusting it is waking up every morning to the smell of burning hair? I never thought. Of course you didn't. God forbid you should take the little Earth girl you married into consideration. Lois. No, get out of here, Clark. I gotta go. And spray something, would you? Place stinks.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, like, has Lois been mind controlled or, like, maybe they're just legitimately going through a marital strife, but, like, I don't know. I don't read a ton of Superman comics, but I was surprised at the harshness.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's also weird to see a Corn Nuts ad.
The dentist's best friend, corn nuts.
Those are hard on your teeth?
Oh,
aren't they just peanuts?
on your... No, they're like, what are they? They're like
coated peanuts, right?
No, there's no nuts in them at all. They're like, hard little baked weird corn. Maybe there's corn. Maybe it's a piece of, like a corn kernel that's been like turned into concrete and put into a bag and with some ranch.
I thought they were just flavored.
They're hard on your teeth. I think that's why that crow only has one eye.
Look at this building. Is it any wonder why
everyone hates Lex Luthor?
Well, that, and it's like, how does anybody think he's a good guy? Yeah, a towering black monolith in the middle of a city that is 100 times higher than any other building.
Right.
That guy must be really nice.
That's got to block the sun from
the guy who's blocking out the sun like Mr. Burns wanted to do. Yeah, he's a good guy. Misunderstood, really. So, we're kind of in a meeting here on this impossibly big table,
Jeez.
impractically. And how do you get up to it? Look at these sheer staircases you have
Whoa.
to ascend to get to this impossibly huge table.
Whoa.
No railing. It's dangerous. That's like an OSHA
Look at
violation.
that. Holy cow.
They say they certainly were well prepared in the future, weren't they? What does this button do? As far as we can tell, sir, that one accesses telecom satellites. Which satellites? All of them, sir, worldwide. Splendid. And this? Wait! That switch apparently causes the chairs around the conference table to flip backwards, dumping its occupants through a floor panel down through a chute into a vat of acid, sir.
What?
This is a joke? No, sir, we lost 2 men today before we restudied the schematics. So, Lex Luthor seems unfamiliar with the layout of this building, which I thought was his. Again, just jumping into this random issue. It makes me wonder, is he like overcoming amnesia, or did he become good because he got bonked on the head? That's kind of a convention of fiction. Or I almost suspected, did they swap bodies and now Lex is stuck in Superman, and this is Superman learning to be Lex, but that's not the case, I don't think. So he says, just when I thought the Luthors couldn't stoop any lower, my successor installs death traps into the boardroom. I love the future. So that keeps coming up. The city of the future, I love the future. That makes me think, it's inarguably the city of tomorrow, despite the residents of the present. But there's these allusions to it being the future, or maybe, I don't know. It was the year 2000, so people were all drunk on the idea of like, everything's different. We're in a new number of year. The future's here, people. Y2K. I don't know.
Yes.
The internet. So, I don't know. I don't know if he is inhabiting this building after his successor, he refers to, maybe a younger Luthor. I know there's been different versions of Luthor in the comics, because I remember in the 80s, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, one of the Luthors is good, right? He helps them fight the Anti-Monitor. So I don't know. I really don't know my DC lore quite as well as Marvel.
Yeah, I don't either. And
there's been more reboots over the years, or earlier on anyway, so it's hard to keep track of.
Yes, sometimes.
And plus, they go back to the 30s. Not that those old stuff really hold continuity of Batman going to the moon and stuff like that.
Right. But I mean, sometimes it's exciting to just grab something because it's in the dollar bin. But then sometimes it's
it's a little disorienting.
It really wakes you up. But it's got a lot of potential. This comic is exciting.
Well, sometimes I complain that comics take too many pains to catch you up, and you're like, we're wasting 4 pages on what happened in the last one that I just read. If you're binging them in an order, it can be a little tedious to reread that stuff. But this one's not doing you too many favors.
Right.
This is for a more literate audience. That would be a good example in teaching English. Our textbook talks about research on literacy, and that would be a good, audience thing. Comics for so long were geared towards children, and so they had, they really had to spell things out. The morality was very black and white, and there were a lot of
I don't know that I'd want my 8-year-old reading
well,
this
that's what I'm
version
saying.
of...
I think probably the 80s, 90s onward, it became more of a teenage to adult audience. You could tell.
Absolutely.
Porn nut ad. But there, you see more pimple ads and stuff in the 90s comics, or movie ads or violent video game ads. So, they're expecting the teenage audience. They're they don't need the hand holding of a big exposition box. They'll figure it out.
Or they know
I like how everybody here's bald too.
I know.
Are they getting their picture taken? Yeah, maybe. They don't say blah 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 though. So, that's actually leading. That's a good point. Let's lead into the next piece of action here. Blah blah blah. So there it is. I'm so smart. I dress well in Italian cravats and eat food with French names. Who is that? My head is so big it outgrew my hair. I'm Lex Luthor. Hear me bore. So I think they might have got cinched by that flashbulb, like you said. But before we can find out, we're going to go to Montreal, Canada. Should start any second. New trade agreements. Feed is good? Great. Hope the conference is worth it. Never seen him like that. You think he's all right? Got a bud, works copy down at the Daily Planet. Says there's trouble in paradise. Hope I never get that sort of trouble. Looks worse than pathetic.
Wow.
So Clark's fallen asleep during the briefing here.
Oh, no.
Snort. Was it? I'm sorry, Lois. What can I... No one bought Alaska while I was asleep, right? He looks so pathetic.
Yes.
And then he's sneezing. Achoo! Cough. Blah. Nothing to see here, folks. Just a mild-mannered reporter with a touch of the flu and a fistful of trouble at home.
Oh, my
gosh. Jimmy. Oh, boy. Z. And, yeah, we got a Game Boy Color ad.
On fire.
Gosh, it looks so primitive compared to even the games you can play on your
cell
phone now.
Yeah.
25 years will do that, I guess. I thought Y2K fixed the signal watch. If Superman's not here by now, something's up, Lois. You could say that again, her icy words.
Whoa.
Say fromage. Blah, blah, blah. I'm Lex Luthor. Bald is beautiful. Blah, blah, blah.
He's going fast.
Amusing, Joker. Sincerely. Cease immediately and I'll simply consider it an ill-conceived perversion of a Friars Club roast. Quit before we've delivered the punchline. For shame. Clack. So they hold Joker at gunpoint with these futuristic-looking... I think these are guns. That's like the sort of like futuristic Cable from X-Men looking guns. With I don't know if they do that to make... I guess it looks futuristic, but also like... Maybe it makes the violence less real for the younger audience of like, yeah, it's some kind of weird blaster and not just like a machine gun
like
or
laser.
something.
Yeah.
Sigh. Amateurs. No spirit of nuance. He's got the icy word bubble too with the spikes on it. Just like Lois up there.
This one, he looks like a cute little, oh, I'm just being cute.
Yeah, I like the more expressive. So there are some really good
there's
panels of Joker
drawings
with less black, but some of these, the black on his eyes is just taken over his whole forehead.
Yeah.
It's way too much color, I think. I don't know, Baldy. Perhaps it was the muse of madness, Betty, who doth be lowered on a silken bungee cord and whisper gumdrops of poison into mine camel ears. Maybe I had one too many of Harley's caffeine sugar MSG parfaits. Tee-hee, me am stealthy. That's what Harley says. I'm Luthor. I could buy your grandmother for breakfast and sell both her hips by lunchtime. I use sparkly toothpaste. I have a veal pillow.
So he's turning everybody into Lex Luthor.
Yeah, exactly. Her camera can Luthorize people.
Oh, that lady wanted to date Luthor. What's better
Now
than
she
dating
is.
him? Now she's Luthor.
Or maybe you should have kept your damn hands out of Gotham. Quid pro quo, Bippy. You casa, me casa. So I guess Luthor had done something in Gotham that, Joker feels like he's treading on his territory. It's a free world maniac. Guards, my life has been threatened. Deadly force authorized. He's got the spikes on his word bubble. They're really using that a lot.
Yeah, they are.
Short. It's over here, too. I read that. It's a free world. So, one of his bodyguards with this huge braid. Such a thick braid. And what I thought was a laser, but she's kind of holding like a staff at this point.
She is.
Funny girl's mine. So over the next few pages, there's going to be like a Harley Quinn versus this lady showdown. That's kind of happening in the background of the main action. Ooh, me first? I'm a repressed chauffeur with no hope of upward promotion, and I hate myself. Cat fight, Joker says. I've got a ball of yarn. Who's got milk? Stop. I don't require your assistance here, alien. Be gone.
Alien?
Yeah, who could he be speaking to? I like this in the background. Somebody's jumping, or the hyena's chasing somebody, or something like that.
Well, yeah, these guys are trying to escape and
trying to climb the tree.
And yeah, these guys are. Oh, look at there.
Does he have a hand? It's hanging out of his mouth there. That's a nice little detail.
Look at this one.
Is he wearing a jacket?
Yeah, he's got like. Is that like a bat cape?
Oh yeah, he's a bat hyena. Do I know you? Oh wait, underwear on the outside, lad. Sorry, this is a private mockery. Bye bye.
He's really
So Superman's looking a little stubbly and tired.
Man.
He's got the flu, I guess. I'm not asking. Pardon my French, Blue Boy, but you look like a buffet table after a senior citizen's early bird special. What happened? You just filed your tax return?
What?
I said leave, alien. I like that drawing
Alien.
of Joker. And you know, his hair's green now. It was kind of like in the shadow. It looked straight black before. Not a chance. Especially not after a blasé command like that, Lexi. Let's see a little style, a little vavoom. Like so. We got the spikes again. I do like how that onomatopoeia shoots out of the panel.
Yeah.
Reet. He's doing the old... I can never do that where you stick your fingers and whistle.
Me either. Your dad can do it.
Boys, would you please serve our man soups with a cease and desist breathing order? Like some hyenas are going to be able to take him down.
Yeah, but he's got some weird flu. I mean...
That hyena's got a little bit of patch of hair. Like black hair on his head. I guess it's his mane.
They're
Like,
so
just interrupted by the color.
looking. Look at...
Especially with the mask.
I know, that's creepy as heck.
Arrgh, good puppy. Go bitey. You heard him with hyenas? Makes you reconsider believing in miracles, don't it? It's an interesting Three Musketeers ad. I can't tell if it's computer generated to look like claymation or if it is claymation. But it kind of looks like Wallace and Gromit like or something.
Kind of, yeah.
I like that character. How does he go to the bathroom? And then a Jackie Chan video game. Look at that realistic likeness of Jackie Chan. Even that drawing is a little iffy. I never played that one, Stuntmaster. I guess it was for PlayStation. I definitely played a lot of PlayStation. Speaking of PlayStation, they kind of have like a framing device for this fight between Mercy and Harley. I guess that's the chauffeur lady. Stage 1, Mercy versus Harley, round 1. Tramp, Silicon Barbie. Hey, look, freaks. Chick freaks. Wow, yeah. Firefighters are mesmerized by this fight. Don't you just hate it when you show up to the massacre and realize that your victim is wearing the same outfit? You're going to die. So Mercy is a little more straight-laced. She's the straight shooter compared to Harley,
yeah.
Is going to quip like Spider-Man the whole time, basically.
Point, point.
She says, repressed dominatrix really isn't my style, though. Some girls can get away with it. You, Starfire, Big Barda. Big Barda's, I think, one of the characters from Darkseid's world, Apocalypse. I think a Jack Kirby invention, or maybe I'm mistaken there. Luckily, I went to finishing school. I can make petit fours.
Petit fours.
Is that like a ballet thing or
No,
something?
those are those little cakes. That little tiny ones, and they're...
I thought it was something about her, the way she was standing or something. It's a pastry or something?
Yeah. Well, Grandma, one time when you were little, and we went, and she sent up a whole bunch of them, and we were coming back for Christmas, and we had boxes of them, and you were in your car seat, and we were driving. It was really late. We didn't know till we got home. There was a completely empty box of them.
I ate them all?
Yeah, you were so quiet.
How old was I?
About a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
You had a sweet tooth back then.
I've never heard of the petit fours for having eaten so many of them. What are they exactly? A cake?
Yeah, they're like little squares.
Mm-hmm.
These were like maybe about an inch by an inch, and and then they have like a little bit of frosting in between, and then they're covered with fondant.
Oh, okay.
So
I bet I would recognize if I pull up a picture of it.
Oh, yeah.
What do you have to fall back on, Mercy? Besides your back, that is. That's what I thought. That braid is like a weapon or something.
Yeah, it is. It almost looks metallic in a way.
I was going to say, she could be like the poodles with the weird cybernetic-looking legs.
Yeah.
Oopsie. This texture is just everywhere in these 2000 comics. The steel-like gray with segments. That's
I
just
think it's a laser.
Yeah, maybe it doubles as like some kind of laser staff, because she's certainly not like aiming it and holding it like a rifle or a gun or something.
Whoa.
Look at that eyeshadow.
He looks insane. I think Joker would be the scariest guy to go against. I mean, there's the Riddler, there's Scarecrow, all that, but
Well, gosh, there's a Superman comic I should track down. I've heard about it where Joker, I believe Joker gets the powers of Mr. Mixaplictic. Do you remember him?
What?
The
Yes.
impish old man in a bowler hat, the tiny old man. Like he's
Yes.
a small, he's like Batmite, but
Yeah.
I don't know who came first. I think Mr. Mixaplictic, and then Batmite was like, we need Batman to have one of those little
Yeah.
old men.
Even the
vexing
Flintstones
him.
had one.
Yeah, exactly. What was his name again? He was the little green guy.
Yeah.
He would call him a funny name or something like
Oh.
Babu or something like that.
What? Yeah. If anybody remembers, let us know.
Yeah, put that in the comments for us. Joker's saying, Lexi, sweet cheeks, I haven't tripped the light fandango with Superman in a dog's age, but I remember him being more robust, more Heston than Herman. Unquestionably commendable work. Psionically controlled cybernetic constructs. Crossbred hyenas weave strictly on ground Schwarzenegger and Tesh music. I'm a student of the old school. Is that like John Tesh music? What's Tesh music?
I don't know.
Isn't John Tesh like a reggae artist or something?
No.
Like that? Maybe I'm confusing
Oh.
names. I don't know.
We're
Tesh.
gonna have to. Yeah, I don't either.
That was another thing that occurred to me in this 25-year-old comic is a lot of pop culture references
that we obviously missed.
Yeah. Well, it reminds me of the writing in Deadpool or something, where like that's like the densest pop culture referential. But I guess it's probably really. It probably continue. I should say it continues to be trendy, but it certainly was trendy at this time to be metatextual about pop culture. So. A classic is a classic is what Lex Luthor. So he does admire the Joker's villainy, even though he's threatening the Joker. I thought that was interesting. He wants to be rid of the Joker too. He's an unknown, unquantifiable kind of person.
Yeah, he is.
Speaking of, you have acid on your chin, so he's about to kill Luthor with his acid. I don't know if it's his bow tie or something.
Bet it's does he have a flower?
Usually has a flower, yeah. I didn't notice this in the first reading. It's kind of like that Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
where it says you're square and it outlines on the screen? That's he's got a little dotted line arrow. I didn't notice that. Superman, you heard the signal watch. I'm here, right? Where's Lois? I guess he's got a sore throat. She was right behind me. Hey, are you okay? You sound a little
Lois
ticked.
Is evil.
And then she hates him. Cough, cough.
Jeez.
So Superman's like, that's enough. Yip, 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 yip. Better than a rolled up newspaper. Yeah, his
he looks
laser
empty
eyes.
inside too.
He singes their manes, I guess. And Luthor retaliates in this bottom section of panels with a flamethrower. With all due appreciation of your little homage, Joker, it's time to put you out of the world's misery. So even Luthor realized, like, you know what? I'm evil, but I don't want, like, chaos in the streets. I just want to rule the world.
Yeah.
We gotta get rid of this guy. Really? I thought it was time for Jenga. It's always time for Jenga. That's a very Deadpool thing to say, don't you think?
Yes.
Sigh. Note to self, shoot first, quip second. Because
yes.
I guess Superman snatches it out at super speed. And that's a really crazy looking Joker.
Yes.
No more, understand? Lex goes back to his tower and you tell me how to release these people. Oh no, far be it from me to defy the laws of nature and disrupt this blessed event. Blessed event? What are you talking about?
Oh my gosh. This is tense. And Lois, he's done something to Lois. She's not that mean.
Right. Once upon a time bomb, a certain hair-challenged tyrant tried to redecorate Gotham City in his image. But it turns out that Lex's self-image is in the dumper. Since New Year's, those beady little eyes had lost their shine. I tell you, Soups, I'm not prone to hysterics, but seeing little Lex so low just tore me to twitching bloody pieces. Seeing as we're such chums, I thought I'd bring him a little pick-me-up, something to help him through the rough spots. Witness rebirth. Why did you let me die, Daddy? Why did I die, Daddy? I'm dead, but I love you, Daddy.
Oh my God.
A little disturbing.
Whoa.
Soup says, "You monster." "Oh no, I'm just a man like any other trying to bring an infanticist and the robotic embodiment of his deceased child together. P.S. We
Oh,
should move now." I know.
wow.
Where does the Joker have the resources to create this stuff? At least Lex
Right?
Luthor's like a scientific genius and
Well,
entrepreneur. He's got a budget to make
the
giant
Joker's
robot babies.
always controlling people's minds and stuff. So he could
True.
walk into any print shop or any balloon shop and say, "You're going to do this." And even if the person didn't want it, they'd be like, "We're going to do this."
You can't do that
Ooh.
much damage with print shops and balloon shops, thankfully.
True.
I want the evilest balloon. Fill it full of fart gas.
Oh.
So Superman rescues his enemies here, because that's just the kind of guy he is.
Even
And yeah, I
sick.
guess we must be in the future. Look at this wheelless hover car, this police car.
That's very Tom Cruise Minority Report.
Yeah, or almost Blade Runner-ish.
Yeah.
But those soared through the air. This one's like,
True.
we don't have
That's
flying
dumb.
cars. They hover 2 inches off the ground. We're getting there. It's not the future. It's just it's like medium future. Ah, the little scamp. Isn't she precious, Lex? Zinc Lozenge, Superman. He's offering him a cough drop, I guess.
Oh.
Cough, cough. God, man. The madness. Why? Why? Call me crazy, but I think it's a pip the way kids always seem to die or get shot in the spine. I think he's referring to, I think it was the 90s. He shot Barbara Gordon. Are you aware of that?
Yes.
And paralyzed her, and she became Oracle. And
Yeah.
she's like the guy in the chair for Batman, the Micro to his Punisher. He's like, "Oracle, the door's locked." She's like, "I'm gonna hack it." "Okay, the door's unlocked," that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I used to run around on buildings with you guys until I got shot in the spine by Joker. "Oh, I gotta go. Sorry. Something."
Yeah. Oh.
But yeah, I'm surprised Commissioner Gordon doesn't hold a grudge.
Yeah.
It'd be easy. Joker is in custody quite a lot. It'd be easy for an accident to happen.
But
Take it,
Barbara
they
didn't listen
did
to
away
her
with
dad.
Epstein or whatever.
Yeah,
and got
true.
mysteriously do that to the Joker. I'm just saying they live in a very morally. Like the good guys are really good in comics. They're not that good in real life.
Right. But Barbara she'd go against her dad's wishes and stuff.
You don't think she wants the Joker to die for paralyzing her?
Oh.
That's what makes her Batwoman or Batgirl. I guess she's less
Although the
bloodthirsty than the rest
woman
of
that
us.
we read, that comic, she would have killed him with her bare hands.
Yeah, that's true. Different version.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many YouTube videos about Batman's no-killing philosophy,
And when did it happen?
When did he establish that?
Yeah, because the early Batman
when we read that first edition,
throws
did
them
he
off
kick somebody off a
buildings.
roof? And I'm pretty
That
sure
guy
there's
in
some
the
comics where he
acid.
shoots people or wields a gun, even though that's kind of part of his ethos is to never use guns. That's been broken in the past.
Yeah. And the guy he kicked into the vat of acid.
Yeah.
It's like,
He's non-lethal acid. And he knows how to swim. So, anyway, he says the Playmates have arrived. That's the cops there. Lex, what he's doing to you, I wouldn't wish it on anyone. Do not pity me, Superman. Pity the clown. His eyebrows are so thick. By the way, he's at it again. I'll say it with puppets since I know they lowered the curve on the MPD entrance exam. Diplomatic immunity is a gas. Right, Sheik? Let's show them how we party back in Karak. That's another thing that dates from the late 80s is, do you remember, were you reading comics when they killed Jason Todd, Robin? I think it's called The Death in the Family story.
No.
Well, I think it's probably around the year I was born, if not a couple years after, in the late 80s. They were on their second or third, I guess he was probably the second Robin, I think. Because there's, of course, Dick Grayson, who became Nightwing and was in the Teen Titans and all that. But Jason Todd was another Robin, and after he had been around for a while, they did a call-in where you vote. You dial a hotline number and you say whether you think he should live or die in an upcoming story. And people voted for him to die, I guess, for Robin to die. And so the Death in the Family story is Joker finally crossing the line and killing Robin. He beats him mercilessly with a crowbar, and then that doesn't kill him, but he's like, it's pretty graphic for that time. And then he leaves him in a warehouse and it blows up or something. Like he leaves a time bomb or something like that. And I bring this up because this, I think, is a reference to that. During that story, Joker had allied himself with the Sheik of Quran, this fake Middle Eastern, very obviously Karak, very obviously like a pastiche of various Middle Eastern
countries that they wanted to
have a bad relationship with the United States, or
well, that they wanted us to think.
Yeah. So, I think it's supposed to be like, who was it? Khomeini was the guy.
Khomeini, yeah.
At that time, that I think it's like a fictional version of that, and he gives Joker diplomatic immunity. So like, it complicates the situation because he can't be arrested, even though I guess he's blowing up warehouses and beating people with crowbars and doing all this bad stuff. So I guess he still has it in the year 2000.
Wow.
He's still got that diplomatic immunity.
Superman is back there like a chump, looking like a chump.
I like his puppet of a camel with a machine gun.
I know this. What?
So we got our round 2 here. Stage 2, round 2, Mercy versus Harley. Tear out your spleen and shove it in your mouth. Read me a story. That's more of the Bruce Timm style. That image right there is more the cartoon style. Because earlier on, it's a very different looking Harley to me. Like, I don't know, this the prevailing art style was so shiny looking, like the colors, and we had talked about that with a different 2000s era comic where everything's just like light from all directions for some panels. But I don't know. Look at how different the head shape is and like the facial features.
They make her
I guess
very
it's mostly the eyes.
here.
Yeah. Because that's the way she's in the cartoon. Because obviously in the Batman animated series, they weren't like making blimps out of dead infants. And this is a little more hardcore than the cartoon. So she was more of a goofy character than a lethal, scary character in that portrayal. So she says, see what's got my garters in a twist is that we henchwomen ought to get more rights. We don't get to vote. We don't get a vote on assassination plots. We get paid less for the same amount of kneecapping. And the harassment. Can a woman wear a skin-tight bodysuit without being objectified? Shut up! Shut up! That's pretty funny commentary.
Oh, man.
Case in point.
The writing is very good in this.
Pardon me, fellas, but do you feel you're witnessing a daring battle between good and evil with the fate of the world in the balance, or are you sticking it out, hoping the Amazon pops a strap? Would you be my girlfriend? It's real Cloisonne. Wow. Or Cloisonne.
Yeah.
He's got like a Green Lantern ring that he's proposing to her with. The commentary on the teenage and middle-aged fanboys that are titillated by the comic books of this era. It's funny, I guess that's more of a recent thing too, is you go to the comic store and they've got variant covers and there's 5 for every issue. It can be kind of like, oh, is that a new one? Oh, it's just the same issue with a different cover, and this one's $1 more, or this one's $25 for some reason. But the cheesecake covers of like women posing, I'm like, a lot of our 70s and 80s comics, there's like a little bit of that aspect, but it's not so blatant, like some of the newer alternate covers are like they're like the swimsuit issue version. It's very blatantly appealing to like, this is a weird thing for people to be buying.
Yeah.
So who wants to have their heart torn from their rib cage first? She's still lethal. Buy me a pony and I'll give you a ride. Here comes Mercy in the background with her ambiguous weapon. Oh, and I guess it's not a machine gun on his camel puppet. It's a flamethrower. I should have known. Happy Hump Day.
Of course.
Fire! Superman is intervening,
Whoa.
both deflecting the bullets and absorbing the
Oh
fire.
my
Why doesn't he just
gosh.
let the Joker get gunned down in a hail of bullets? Like, that's a philosophical question. Is like, well, is he obligated to use his super speed to save someone, or can he just be like, oh, I wasn't paying attention. Whoops. Well, he's all out of our hair now.
True.
Gentlemen, maybe you could let me handle this. I said, shut up. Back in Karak, I hit the sack. It's been so long, I'm glad to be back. Stop it.
Oh my God.
I sold my soul to rock and roll, AC/DC forever. I said, shut up. Dear God in heaven, look what you did to my hand. His fingers are crumbling. Why me die, Dada? Why me die?
Gosh.
The inhumanity, you monster. And after what that nasty commissioner did to my leg in Gotham, you'll live. Stay put. Maybe I'll get you to a doctor. Threatening to withhold medical care. Ha! A very dark night of you. Only there's a difference. Batman gets the joke. I guess he has his real hand under a fake crushed hand. He's like, I'll bring my fake crushed hand because I know Superman will reach out and grab me at some point, so I better be ready for
before he
that.
leaves the house, he's like, okay, keys, Harley, fake hand.
Imagine all the
Acid
good things.
flower.
If he devoted his energy and resources to helping people, he could have more of an impact than Batman. That'd be an interesting story. He's like, I'm going to decide to go good for a day. So all the elaborate pranks and traps and giant bombs I make of babies, I'm going to divert that to just helping people in Gotham, homeless people. And Batman will be like, hey, I'm here to get you. He's like, I'm actually running a food shelter. I'm doing a pantry over here. We've got soup
Although,
for everybody.
The Batman that we did read, that was flipped, where Batman and his wife were bad.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But
that.
it didn't
Is
go
that the
into
Catwoman
much.
annual
the
that we
Catwoman,
read?
yes, that's
where they get gunned down in a blaze of glory. It's a very 90s comic too. I was like, this is gory for what, I was like 8 or 9 or something. Like everybody's getting shot with machine guns. Oh well, at least I turned out okay. For the most part. I haven't gunned anybody down like the comic books.
You know, I'm so grateful that it was the Fantastic Four your dad was reading to you at bedtime.
Yeah, those are pretty tame.
Yes.
I think a lot of the edgier 90s ones I was buying at Taurus Comics, and I could read by myself by that point. So I'm like, I guess I'll make heads or tails of this on my own.
Right.
I like this little this floating head of the Joker. I guess that lets you know who's doing this monologue. He knows we're all a little sick, but while he wraps his issues up in a utility belt and voila, vengeance, you're letting your sickness eat you alive. I don't feel very good. This is Soups talking. Just being close to the Joker, ill, Lois's eyes, so angry, so sick. Did something just hit me? Choom. Just a few more minutes, Ma, a little rest, help. It's a very familiar image from the Superman trailer, right?
Yes.
Except it's not in Antarctica or whatever.
I'm going to have to delve deeper. I'm going to have to Google some stuff.
We have a really creative onomatopoeia, Shadazakata, something like that. Dead eats.
Emanating out of that building.
That's Luthor's building. So the baby bomb, or whatever that android thing is seemingly going to blow up, or maybe look like it's creating some kind of portal for the building. Big portals in the sky, that's certainly a convention of superhero storytelling. Blah, blah, I'm Lex, huh? Bald? What happened? They're snapping out of it. Stupid dang-nab Karaki parts, automatic camel waterer, no problemo. Ask for a giant death dolly and the craftsmanship just deteriorates. So I guess Karak is funding his terrorism.
Okay.
Superman, it worked. No clue what you pulled from your bag of tricks, but I didn't do anything. Couldn't. What happened? Lex Luthor saves Metropolis again.
Whoa. And look at Jimmy. He's very cartoony, but
angry, yeah.
Kind of looks like Dennis the Menace there.
Well, it's tough being a teenager for 60 years.
Yeah, true.
However long. LexCorp. The LexCorp of the future is more than a symbol of power. It is power. With the flip of a switch, a broadband signal transmitted on all frequencies not sanctioned by LexCorp carries codes that essentially reboot electrical equipment. Modalities not sanctioned include giant robots, Karaki parts, and most human brains. Your persecution of Metropolis's poor citizens is over. I like it's most human brains. Some of them are fair game, I guess. Well, aren't we all a megalomaniacal MacGyver? Bravo, Alexi. Maybe you can make a Brinks truck out of a banana peel and some duct tape and run yourself over with it. I will not be held hostage in my own city, ever. You wanted to see Metropolis? My Metropolis? You've seen it. Metropolis is Luther. Now get out before my city spits you out. I have to hand it to you, Lexi. A stunt like that at the 11th hour, you're almost as crazy as I am. We ought to swap meds sometime. For now, though, my entourage and I have had enough of lovely Metropolis. We really prefer dominating cities with more sand. But I do want to correct you on one thing. I didn't want to see your Metropolis. I wanted to show you in the world your Metropolis. The Metropolis you just rebooted to save your precious real estate. The Metropolis at your whim, where cars and planes and pacemakers and traffic signals and blenders are at this very minute recalibrating.
Ooh.
I know you'll spin it out tomorrow, Lex, but for a while at least they'll all know that a lunatic is running their asylum. Screech, crash, boom. All different typefaces and colors there. That's interesting. Wait, you can't just, sorry, sweetheart, but this bird's got to fly. Diplomatic immunity, you know. No, 2 minutes. I'll fly you to Canada where Karak doesn't have any immunity. And Blue, seriously, you're frightening the ladies. Besides, I'm all for improvisation, and I'll be the first to admit that the DI gag will only play for so long. But I wasn't kidding about the airplanes, 50 seconds left. If you're not going to lie down for another nappy. Diplomatic immunity began in Birds of Prey number 16, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Is he serious? Can he do that? He just did.
I like Birds of Prey.
Me too. Stage 3, round 3, we're finally finishing up our gritty fight here between Mercy and Harley. Play ping pong with your eyes. Cotton candy, crunchy. You had enough, clown. I could do this all night, Beanpole. Hey, what's that behind you? Oh, please. Oh, no. So Mercy gets smacked by Joker's limousine as he's driving away. I smell fun, Dip. Harl, be a fall doll and do something about the MPD, would you? Make my excuses, pen my goodbyes, and do my jail time until things cool off? Puddin'? You're a princess. I'm off with Alia and friend here for 1001 Arabian Nights of fun. Men. Oh, yeah, men. Bubble Bud. Bimbo.
Okay.
Daily Planet. Yeah, I guess they found some camaraderie as being female henchmen women.
She works for Lex Luthor?
Well, yeah, I think that's the case. But I guess she has superpowers because she has I think a light pole.
Yeah.
Maybe she's got some super strength, which it's like, wow, how is Harley really hanging in there? I think she's just a human that can fight really well. I don't know. Maybe they're both human. I haven't really done my homework on the Mercy character, to tell you the truth. For pity's sake, Ken, I admire dedication, but get thee to a doctor. I will, Perry. But after botching the Canada thing, I have to file this one. So he's not a very good co-worker, if you think about it. He's like, I get everybody in the office sick.
With something that's taking down Superman, so this could kill millions.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the kryptonite flu or something. You've got a strange definition of luck, Kent. Clark, I don't want to cross a line here, but do you have a place to stay tonight? A non-couch place? Thanks, Perry, but I'm okay. Difficult as things are, they haven't gone down that road yet. We have this mysterious delivery man. Pizza for Kent. Hey, watch it. I didn't order any pizza. Nope, you didn't, but some hottie in the lobby gave me $20 to hand this to you. What? Don't think it's good, but what do I know about love? Later. It's a note, Lois's handwriting. Dear Clark, can't face you. Don't look for me. The living room isn't far enough away. I'm leaving forever? check out Superman 157 next week. So,
Whoa.
Yeah, something's up with Lois, as we had been saying.
Yeah.
It's throwing Superman off his game, so even the non-powered criminals are getting to him. They've got
That's just
those
crazy.
cracky weapons, those weapons of mass destruction.
There's something up with Lois. So we're going back a little bit farther in time.
Iron
And
Man
the art
168.
Although it does look like he has a full beard, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The
He's like, I'm going to give this armor some stubble or a goatee.
And it's the right period of time for Iron Man to be looking a little rough. But yeah, interesting cover. We've got Machine Man.
That's how they came up with that character.
The man, the Machine Man.
I don't know a lot about Machine Man, but isn't there a DC character that he reminds you of?
Kinda, yeah.
A little bit of Cyborg or something.
A little bit of Cyborg, a little bit of
who am I thinking?
Plastic Man.
Or like Elongated Man.
Elongated Man. Or what's his name from the cartoon?
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget stuff going on.
So I know him as a hero, though, usually. So I guess
so on the
some
cover,
misunderstanding's happening where he's like, I'm going to tear your arm off, Machine Man.
Yeah, so this actually is a really sad
Oh, and one
comic.
more thing. I don't mean to keep derailing,
you're
but
good.
I never like when they crop the background of a cover like this. Like, it makes it takes the impact out of the image for me. Like, if the background of whatever location they're in extended through there, I guess it would complicate the lettering because you'd have all these,
Well, right.
And
But
it
that's
would be-
interesting that you say that because I think that's why they did it, to make it seem like they're busting out of the background or the panel. But yeah, that's an interesting take.
Well, because he's crossing over the boundary of it. It gives it like, oh, they're coming right out of the page. I get that, but I don't know. Just the weird cream color behind it. Maybe that's my problem. Is I just don't like the contrast color that they picked to frame it.
No, that's all good points. Yeah.
But yeah, I always really like the covers that like the whole cover.
Yes.
The scene or the background.
Yes, and they make the titles a little bit smaller, or just
I think that's one thing that's so cool about comic covers versus interiors. Like, of course, there are splash pages that are one big panel like this, but for the most part, small drawings and pieces of art where you're like the cover, and because the cover so often doesn't actually happen it's almost like they're two worlds competing. Of
right.
Well,
they're trying to get you here.
Right. They're like, now that we got you, we don't
settle down.
We're not going to put that much effort into it.
Yeah.
We said it would be the best comic you ever read. It'll be one of the comics you've read.
True. That would be interesting. If you have a favorite cover, did the story stand up or hold up to the cover? And if not, why? Which one? That's an interesting one.
Biggest cover disappointment.
Yeah. What do you?
That would be fun to look for.
Yeah. So we opened with you say you want to see Anthony Stark. Yeah, the Stark, the millionaire inventor, the playboy industrialist, your boss, that Anthony Stark. But I'd settle for his secretary or his secretary's secretary or maybe a real bright office boy. The young people of today always showing off. Like, really? Really?
This is 1983, it looks like. I like how retro his company's logo is.
Yeah.
It doesn't look very 80s to me. It looks more 60s.
So, yeah. So, yeah, his legs are funky.
Maybe that's a sign of Stark International's decline. They're a little past their prime.
Oh, true.
Isn't he an alcoholic in this version?
He's not doing well.
I think, didn't we look... Gosh, in our first year of doing this, I think we did one of those Demon in the Bottle arcs. The one where the little kids don't know he's Iron Man and he's out on the streets. So this is like, I think prior to that. This is like the lead up to his rock bottom or whatever, right?
I think he's deeper.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I know at some point he loses his company to Stain.
Yep. And then... get the head office on the horn. Won't do any good. People have been trying to find Stark all morning with nobody knows where he is. So that's the thing that's going on. Even the scientists working for him and they're waiting to do their final testing of their experiment, and they can't find Tony.
So you're telling me a big, important, rich CEO is doing drugs all the time?
Right?
That's so unrealistic. Acting irresponsibly and putting a lot of people's lives in peril because of their narcissism. That seems familiar, actually.
And these guys are like, and unless it goes out of here by tomorrow, we lose the contract, which is definitely not good. My buddy in the accounting office tells me the company is in big trouble financially. I hear that too.
Just gotta bribe the right lobbyist or whatever.
Right.
They'll be all right.
Maybe we should start looking for other jobs, huh? Where could the boss be? And then in Tony's private quarters, Mr. Stark, are you there? Please answer. Huh?
Ooh, it looks like a demon from Supernatural with those dark eyes.
There's a strange robot of some sort on the premise. Robot? So, hello, front gate? About that robot. Tell him I'm not interested.
Gosh, the poor security guys must... They're like, where do you work? The mall. Oh, really? I'm over at Stark. We got robots showing up.
Really?
Must be a tough job.
Oh, it would suck.
High turnover, probably. People get killed. Oh, Whiplash is here again. He killed 3 of my coworkers.
Dang it. And tell him I don't care what he does. Can you imagine hearing that? And the guy's right behind you. That was Mr. Stark, but I'm not sure what he said. You guys run a swell operation. Nobody seems to know anything. So at this point, as I'm reading this and not thinking, not really remembering Robot Man much, I'm thinking...
Machine Man.
Or Machine Man, yeah, there we go.
I don't even remember his name. Do you think they developed him to capitalize on the popularity of the $6 Million Man? Or is that what it's called? The
$6 Million Man? Well, that was...
$600 million?
The $1 Million Man.
Just $1 million. He was just $1 million.
No, was it the $6 Million Man?
I've only heard about it. I don't think I've seen a full episode of that show. I've seen like the title sequence of like, we can rebuild him,
yes.
we can make him better, or something like that.
Is
that Machine Man's story, or is he just an android like Ultron?
I did not Google.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the fun is speculating, I think.
Yes,
just looking at the answer.
But
I think I've only seen him. I think we might have a Marvel team up with Spider-Man, but I don't know.
But as I was watching or reading this, I didn't know that he was a good guy. So it was like, oh, okay, so nobody seems to know anything. I think I'll go talk to him personally. Thanks for the repartee. He's floating. Should we shoot? Probably wouldn't do any good. I'll sound the alarm. Let's hope Iron Man is around. Alarm! Some kind of robot after me, probably sent by Stain. Obadiah Stain won't let me alone. So yeah, he's crashing. He's drunk right now.
Oh, geez.
Can't get his head around things. So he goes and tries to take a shower in his clothes, trying to sober up. And no good, still drunk. How long was I drinking? Day? No matter. I'll be okay when I get my armor on. Armor will make everything all right. Sheesh, can't seem to hang on to it.
Oh, God.
Oh, God, I'm sick. And so then he turns up. Look at him, stretched out.
that would scare you.
Yes. And pardon me, ma'am, is this Anthony Stark's office?
He doesn't pick up on social cues very well. He's a machine.
He doesn't. What?
Doesn't understand privacy and stuff like
Or to be exact, I'm looking for his bodyguard, Iron Man. If you have a moment, I'll explain. You see, I have a hunch that he isn't an Iron Man at all. He's more like iron all the way through. In other words, a robot. Not unlike yours truly. Though I prefer to think of myself as an independent, multifunctional computing unit. Woo. Forgive me. I've been rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm known as Machine Man. Pleased to meet you. Anyway, if I'm right and Iron Man is one of my kind, I'd like to meet with him. Sort of compare notes. He's probably solved a lot of problems I haven't been able to get a handle on. What do you want? No.
For being a robot, he's got a very conversational
Yeah.
Tone, yeah.
Just man I came to see. I'd recognize you anywhere.
See, he has like halting, like he misspeaks. He has little hesitations.
Yeah.
I'm like, they program him to have realistic human speaking patterns
Good point.
closely.
Good point.
I guess he wouldn't be that scary if he's that conversational walking into your... He lets himself in, but he's like, oh, don't worry, I'm here. See, I thought he was a robot. I'm a robot. Nice to meet you, by the way. I'm Machine Man. You can call me Machine Man.
Yeah. And he goes, I'd recognize you anywhere. You may recognize me, too. I've made the 11 o'clock news once or twice. I ask you what you want.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah, Tony's not in any mindset to think, rationally.
It's a very Hulk haircut he's got.
Yeah.
Actually, it's not.
It's a very secretary.
I guess it was a popular look at the time.
And not much conversation, mostly a little help with life's uncertainties. Heck, maybe I can answer some questions for you. You offer friendship and... Then, forged with alcohol, he remembers Indris, the woman he trusted and finally loved, the woman who betrayed him, his worst enemy, and laughed as she told him so. You're another one, aren't you? You came from Stain. So that's what put him into this alcoholic binge.
It's hard to read those weird sentence fragments, his drunk speech.
Yes.
Like, Don, give me that.
Yes. And so, sorry, friend, you must have had me mixed up for someone else. So, Machine Man is there to talk shop.
Yeah.
And he's
going
through.
Another.
Yeah, he's going through some stuff that he needs to work out. He's coming to Tony to... he thinks Tony's a full-on robot. So, and Iron Man in his drunken stupor and, forlorn
How
heart.
terrifying would that be, to have a drunk guy in a war machine?
Yeah, right?
Coming at you.
So he's going to tear you limb from limb. And he just stands back,
Lets him crash through the wall, yeah.
And then, look, you're making a mistake, but if you want me to leave, I'll be glad to. Don't try to sweet talk me. Whack.
Mr. Martinelli!
Some of his circus...
I love the size of the letters the second time. She's freaking out.
Some of his circus must be fused. He's lurching partially out of control. And the shocked look on his face, even with the, profile view. But those boot jets... give him incredible speed anyway. I can't dodge him, so I'll ride with him. So yeah, Tony just grabs him around the way until he isn't expecting me to apply power. Iron Man, please, tune in to me carefully. I would like to avoid hurting you. I prefer reason to violence. So now at this point, I'm like, oh, okay, Tony's the bad guy in this.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, there's a misunderstanding. Pretty words, a la Stain's creeps, are good with words. Well, tell him I'm not going to listen. So the old playboy, got his heart hurt, and now he's just incomprehensible. He can't comprehend anything right now.
You said this was 83 or 86 that this came out? I can't remember. It's 83. I was going to say the whole anti-hero or morally gray hero seems like such a 90s thing, but it's pretty bold for Iron Man to make its title character such a jerk.
Yeah.
I guess Spider-Man had his black suit. He's had his moments too. Yeah, Iron Man's really a butthole in this one.
Yeah. So I'm going to destroy you. He grabs his arm off. That's for openers. You're in for a bit of a surprise. I'll call it the boomerang effect. It's programmed in all my parts. That's cool.
Clonks him on the head.
But then Tony's armor, not in today's MCU, his armor's all... Yes.
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
Encases his body from a million different parts.
If I can't do it with my hands, I'll use this. You really are planning to reduce me to scrap, aren't you? George, watch out! So even his employees are in danger.
That's quite what you were saying. in the 83, they're like, what if a robot could throw his arm and it was a boomerang? And then and then in the 2000s, they're like, what if the robots are in his bloodstream? And like, we're like, oh, well, I like the boomerang idea. I thought that was pretty creative.
He goes, he missed me, but he's going to smash those humans. They'll never dodge in time. Another half second and they'd have been grease spots. Ooh. So crash. So he saves
Is that
the
Machine
guys.
Man thinking that they'd be grease spots?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing to call some humans as a...
But he's a machine. He'd be reduced to a grease spot. So
that's why he speaks in those terms? Like,
I think so. I think so. And something's gone wrong with his programming. He's a danger to me, himself, and especially the flesh and blood around here. If he kills a person, all research will probably stop. And the mobile computers, cybernetic brains, and plain old robots, which already exist, will be reprogrammed into can openers or co-signed to the junk pile, including me. Trying to escape, huh?
Gosh, that's a weird background.
Yeah, it is.
It's all dots.
Yeah. On the contrary, much as I regret it, I'm afraid I have to break you.
What if they just didn't want to do a pure black and really darken up the whole page? They're like, yeah, just make it dotted in that second panel.
Right. Well, they're on grass. I mean,
Yeah,
he's up high
I was
enough.
wondering why didn't they just put the grass
Parking
in the
lot or
background?
grass, yeah.
like some of them. I guess this kind of has the speckling too, but it's yellowish.
Yeah. I guess, I don't know, emphasize the
The
movement
action.
rather
I do
than...
like how he's swooping down from the left.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like this pose of Tony here. In his
Tony's
drunken
pose.
stupor. Stupid Iron Man. Stupid drunk Iron
Drunk
Man.
Iron Man, yeah.
And meanwhile, at an
Got a pointy
airfield
plane.
in a remote part of Scotland, do you not think that it's a waste of time that Mr. Stain has us watching Stark's aircraft? He'll likely make for the coast or one of the cities.
Oh, we missed his eye.
Oh.
Stark's pilot will not show up here.
Yeah,
He'll
that's
likely
right. There
make
you
for
go.
the coast or one of the cities.
And then, what?
Get away from there, man.
Yeah.
He's Scottish. Get away. I can't do Scottish.
I didn't notice you wearing any uniform. And even if you were, I'm not real good at taking orders from strangers. Oof. You won't be needing this, and I might. They were right. I would have headed for the
coast.
except I don't know this blessed country at all. I have no money, and I can't be sure who is friend or foe. Anybody, he's washing his face now. Anybody might have been in cahoots with the creeps that put me in the hospital and then tried to kidnap me. See issue 165, 167. But I knew where the plane was, and after ferrying Tony Stark around the world for years, I was darn sure I could fly it. The worst part was this disguise, this gunk I put on my face. Flour and egg yolk. Ugh. Had to be done, though. My black skin would have stood out like a camel in a swimming pool.
He's in whiteface?
Yeah.
It's an edgy comic.
Yeah, it is. And anyway.
He's like, there's no black people in Scotland. I've got to do something. Give me some flour.
Anyway, that's that. That's the next step. The good old US of A. What's going on, Mr. Martinelli? Why are Iron Man and that automaton battling? I don't know. Automaton. Yeah.
I've heard both ways, but it's easier to say automaton for me.
Yeah.
The inker was going wild on this close-up.
Yeah.
A lot of detail compared to the rest of the comic. That was a good picture of Rhodey.
Yeah, it is.
I do like this panel too, reaching across.
Kalang. I don't know, kid. Maybe Stark could tell us if he wasn't hiding somewhere.
It'd be interesting to take panels like this, where action's occurring left or right, and do an analysis, like compile a bunch of them and try to come up with like a pattern. Because I know we read top to bottom, left to right, and so sometimes the action's coming left to right naturally as our eye would want to follow things. But sometimes it's just the opposite, where it's coming right to left. I'm wondering if there's like a correlation between if it's going with the flow or against the flow.
Oh yeah,
The mood
or
'cause,
how
like,
the impact of it.
Yeah, well, or even the philosophy, because like Machine Man's kind of the innocent guy here. He's just defending himself, and he's coming in from the left to the right, where Iron Man's the antagonist clearly. This one, I guess he's still the antagonist, but is it supposed to make you, maybe at distances, Machine Man makes Iron Man the focus, and he's like, it's from his point of view more. It's more suggestive of like, oh, why is this guy punching me? So you see like Iron Man's motivation more. It makes Machine Man look like the antagonist because he's in the distance. Maybe that.
Philosophically, we have Mr. Martinelli saying, well, I don't know, kid, maybe Stark could tell us if he wasn't hiding somewhere, but then he's hiding inside of Iron Man, and Iron Man's not Iron Man. So it's, there's a lot that interesting.
Oh gosh, these are some interesting
layouts. I'll never be able to batter him into submission. Whatever he's made of is harder than what I'm made of. And I'm not exactly lemon meringue. If he were functioning properly, I'd be no more problem for him than a Tinker Toy. But his reasoning circuits are obviously impaired. And it looks like he's just missing like a big, oaf when you have somebody who's a fighter up against somebody who's just, big oaf. And they are, in turn, impairing his motor functions. The generator building might be just what the mechanic ordered. I'll grab hold.
I like that Machine Man is sophisticated enough where his program like gives him an inner monologue at a human rate and in human language, and he uses like contractions and placeholders in his speech, but he's not familiar with like what a drunk person looks like and how they behave.
Right.
He's naive in some ways, but really sophisticated in others.
Right. So he grabs onto the building, and then he retracts his arm real fast. And my sparring partner wasn't expecting speed from me. While he's recovering what's left of his wits, I'll duck inside. So now we're in the place that the cover was representing. Yes, indeed, this should do the trick. Where are you? I told you can't escape. Another hole in another building. You're sure not careful about your employer's property. What are you doing by that generator? Plugging myself in. Using my body as a conduit, I figure I'm hitting you with about 100,000 volts. Should overload your system and then some. You're wrong. Because you put the juice into my power pods. They can absorb 10 times 10,000 volts. And each and every volt gets fed into my armor. Oh, shoot. So what does that mean? That nobody will kick sand in your face at the beach? Good for you. Catch. That won't stop him, but it should slow him down while I beat a hasty retreat and figure out my next move. Ripping the generators loose, extinguish the lights, but that's okay. My infrared scanners enable me to see in the dark. Then we go back to the scientists. However, not everyone has infrared scanners, for in the adjoining laboratory, who killed the lights? That's all we need, right? First Stark doesn't arrive to oversee the test, and now we're supposed to conduct it in the dark. Where's the emergency switch? There. Let's get back to it. This is the critical point in the proceeding. If we can reverse the polarity on those ions, we'll have solved our major problem. Tell me something I don't know. And if we can't, there'll be 4 years and $80 million in research funds down the tubes. Don't mind me, I'm just passing through, sort of playing hide and seek with a head of circuits gone Looney Tune. Get out! We can't be bothered. Harry, this is it. Energize the sonics. Caught you.
Oh, geez.
Not yet. Nothing will get in my way.
He's attacking his own employees?
I know. Look at.
Did he kill this guy?
I know. It looks like his eyeballs come out, but it's.
It's the generator.
Yeah,
Sonic.
Yeah. It's the little points that they were, but.
Is that what he says? Oh no, the Sonics.
Yes. And then he falls down. So, yeah, they were injured.
His hand goes limp. He might be dead.
He could be.
That's manslaughter at best.
Nearly, or nearby. Where are they now, Mr. Martinelli? They've taken it into the air again. At least there they won't break anything. Except maybe themselves. You're shooting energy blasts at me. You call them repulsors, and I'm diverting them with magnetic field. Stalemate. Do you have any fancier tricks? Don't need tricks. Attaboy, come closer. You think you think you can beat me with your fingers? Well, yes. No, not my fingers exactly. Rather, the electronic magnetic impulses I'm sending through them to your command center. I'm overriding your systems, buddy. I'm shutting you down. And this one is really hard. No command center exists, but there is an intricate cybernetic circuitry designed to respond to Anthony Stark's thoughts. That's hard. Black eyes.
That's very faded, yeah.
And this given conflicting information reacts by locking all units and shutting itself off. The result, he's dropping like a stone. However, I'm computing the data I received from Iron Man. I was mistaken. I guessed wrong. He's not mechanical or electronic or even bionic. Beneath that shell, he's human. I'm about 1/10 of a second away from being a murderer.
I like how they convey the flight with these tall, skinny panels like that, because a lot of it's under, or it's having over like a neutral background. So
yeah.
It's a clever way to force our perception to be like, okay, they're really high up, even though they're just flat on a page.
Right. That's nice.
Nice depth perception.
Got him. Now I have a nanosecond to apply maximum anti-gravity, halt his plunge so he doesn't want to do the Gwen Stacy. And I did it. Burned out 3 anti-grav pods in the process, but that's a small price to pay considering he's not moving passed out, or worse. That's a weird thing. Considering he's not moving passed out, or worse. I'll reverse the input into whatever runs his armor and hope that gets a response. Can you hear me, Iron Man? You okay? And then he's getting up, and that is my cue to exit hastily. I don't want to meet the man inside the metal. So yeah, he probably knows a little bit more than what he's letting on right now. If he knows,
That's a strange panel. It's like he's jumping off of that bird's body.
It does. He's mad. So ever, under any circumstances, I have a feeling he has something profoundly wrong with him. He's damaged as only human beings can be damaged. In some ways, we machines are lucky. So
he's
below,
the size of a cardinal.
he can become, or that's a huge cardinal.
Yeah.
And below, looks like you won, Shellhead. Looks can be deceiving, Vince. Anyhow, he's gone. So now everybody thinks that Machine Man is a bad guy,
Oh, gosh.
Mind tell me what the hassle was about? Not now, please. I can't be bothered. Iron Man, you ruined the project. Okay, so they're okay. Except they're taking the other guy out on a stretcher. You blew 4 years of my life and 80 million of Stark's money. You put my partner in the hospital. You got something to say? Sorry, can't be bothered. Then at Stark's private lab, the armor-clad figure presses his palm into a plate that responds only to his touch and gotta be alone. Funny, I don't want to remove the armor. I don't want to look at myself, but I must. The head inside this helmet is aching, and I'm not sure where the last day and a half went. I thought, who? An android? Something like that.
Yikes. It's a pretty grim picture of him in that bottom panel.
Yeah, so I remember being defeated, beaten. Yes, I fought and I lost. Horrible, horrible memory. The phone. I guess I better answer it. Yes? Mr. Stark, thank goodness I finally got through to you. It's awful, Mr. Stark. The office is torn apart and the laboratory is wrecked and those men from the bank are insisting on seeing you. I can't be bothered with any of it, Mrs. Arbogast.
Arbogast.
Arbogast. You'll have to cope the best you can. Have a car sent around front, please, one of the expensive ones. So then he gets himself all dressed up, takes off the armor, and then he goes, $100 silk tie, my best Seville road suit. Mr. Stark, it's important that we talk. It certainly is, and we will soon. But at the moment, I'm afraid I just can't be bothered. My secretary will give you an appointment. He doesn't even know who I am. Yeah, doesn't care either. He's got bigger problems than he knows. For all its size, the company has been essentially a one-man operation. And now something's wrong with that one man. He's leaving a lot of slack and nobody's around to pick it up. I tell you, kid, if I owned stock in Stark International, I'd sell. An hour later, on Manhattan's Upper East Side. Evening, Mr. Stark. Using the penthouse tonight? I will, Jimmy. Oh, then we have an ad.
Hulk angry, Hulk sad, Hulk dead.
Ooh. Hulk, no. But that will be our secret. I'll give you the twin to this if I'm not disturbed by anyone or anything. Twin to a $500 bill? Sure thing, Mr. Stark. Oh, darn. I nearly forgot, Jim. I'm all out of libation. Libation? Drinkables, Jim. I wonder if you'd do me another favor. I wonder if you'd run down to the store on the corner and pick up a couple of bottles of French brandy for me. And maybe some gin. Gosh, Mr. Stark, I'd like to, but I got nobody to relieve me. And with the crime in the neighborhood, I really can't leave. Say no more. I'll run down there myself. A man like you shouldn't be bothered. No bother, Jimmy. No bother at all.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
He's in the grips of addiction.
This is right before he loses everything to Obadiah.
So funny that he's dominating this fight in the cover.
Right?
And he gets his ass handed to him.
But, yeah.
That's a pretty scary image of him absorbing all that energy, too.
Yeah,
he
it
looks
is.
very antagonistic in that.
Yeah.
That portrayal. Funny how expressive the mask can be when it's supposed to be this metal faceplate or whatever.
They can't move, right.
But it gets pissed.
Yeah, it does.
Sometimes it's sassy looking.
And Tony is just so down on his luck.
I know.
And you know, he's an international playboy, and then what breaks him is a woman. And it's like, oh, come on. You, in many comics before that, you know, he has one here, one there, one in every port.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
Well, his own ego is his undoing, I guess.
Yes.
Maybe that's why he's such a popular character in the MCU. It's funny, he's probably more famous from the movies than the comics.
Oh, absolutely.
And people find his flawed character relatable, I guess.
Right.
That's what makes Superman such an interesting character to write for, because him or like Captain America, they have to be so morally
steadfast. Yeah.
I mean, even less so for Captain America. He's had his edgy incarnations over the years.
Oh yeah.
Superman, they love making him like the fascistic or like corrupted. You know, there's a few adaptations. Or I have one. Maybe we should do this as an episode. I have one in the basement that's a alternate universe where Superman lands in the Soviet Union and becomes like a dictator in the USSR. Yeah, it's interesting to see this is an edgy comic for, you know, Superman.
Yeah, it is.
Apple pie, punching an alien with a bowler hat.
Lois.
You know, it can be pretty edgy too.
Yeah. It was good. Very.
Lois in particular. Yeah, Lois and Tony are going through something.
Yeah. Uh-oh. This is the crossover we didn't expect.
Yeah.
Didn't know we needed.
So if you enjoyed watching this, give us a like and subscribe to our channel and write a comment. We'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks.